discipline to execute our defensive game plan, obviously setting a tone in that first quarter, 19-point quarter, winning the first two quarters. Obviously, you knew they were going to go on a run. I told the guys afterwards, like, when we lock into our game plan, we're going to probably get the results that we want. But when we make, minor mistakes here or there, lack of communication, lack of discipline or something in rotations, they're really good. They make us pay, and they did at times. So we got to correct that moving forward. But I thought there was tons of great things. We had to change up some matchups. We try to simplify some of our adjustment packages so our guys could go out there and just play hard, and they did a great job tonight. So great win, but we got to continue to get better as the series goes on.
Taylor, you talked all year about how you guys are going to have to fight through adversity to get to where you ought to. Though Ja tonight, down 1-0. Do you feel like this game was a prime example of that? Yeah,
a great example. So many different guys stepping up. Obviously, I thought Tyus was great. We had 6 guys with 2+ assists. Obviously, him with 8 assists. Both teams couldn't really buy a shot. Low 40s, both teams. But for our guys to come out there and play together, try to move the ball, I thought there was great effort on both sides of the floor, and I talked about it before the game. Just, we needed some guys off our bench to step up, and I thought, great efforts from all of our bench guys. Luke knocking down shots, D-Rod coming and playing some great defense, knocking down shots, Jitty with, some big-time blocks, just, continuing to impact the game in different ways. This is just a great example, and then obviously X, you got to tip your cap to him, what he did for us defensively, offensively. He was huge, and he's been doing that all season, but this is an example of what the Grizzlies need when, guys out.
Yeah, on X, you've repeated this a few times, but I guess what are the feelings right now after a performance like this, given all that he's done this season, G League, all of this, and to be in this spot again where we're talking about him again after playing so well?
I think it's the true sign of a winner. It's a true sign of a pro, and that's why we love X, a guy that always stays ready. He wants to impact winning and whatever his role is going to be. Comes out, in the second half of the regular season, makes a tremendous impact, does it tonight, in the biggest game of the season for us. But, true testament to him, keeping his body ready, his mind ready. But, for him, he's just like, let me just get ready for the next challenge the next day. Obviously, this is a big win for us. Great performance from him, other guys as well. But, no highs, no lows. We just got to keep focusing ahead. And that's what he's been a prime example of, a guy that when he's played well, when he's gotten his opportunities, he's just focused on the next challenge ahead.
We'll go to Michael, Joe, Parker, Mark.
Taylor, just looking at how you defended Anthony Davis, just looked like he couldn't get comfortable. How were you able to do that?
Just with activity. We had a couple different guys on him. They used him in pick and roll to get into his post situations, early post-ups as well. It's just trying to play with smart activity. Obviously, trying to limit, their ability to draw fouls, work for the post position, who's going to win that battle early in possessions is big, and then just not giving him any angles to really be a threat. He's a hell of a player. It's going to be a tough test, but, we know they're going to try to feature him in a lot of different ways. It's off-ball screens, it's post ISOs, it's pick and rolls into posts. So I thought our guys did a great job knowing the different situations they like to feature him in, and we just did it with just smart activity.
I promised I was going to ask about how you defended Anthony, but since that was just asked, what happened with Ja?
So all the way up, did all the testing, still battling some soreness and a little pain. It's just a collective decision. We all decided that, obviously he's a warrior. He wants to be out there, would do anything to be out there, but we just felt like, hey, just given all the testing results that, given this game and just with a couple more days in between, we're hopeful that, with the progress he's making the last couple of days, he'll be back sooner rather than later. Can't guarantee when that's going to be, but it was just one of those things that we just couldn't, pull it to have him in tonight. But, hopefully over the next couple of days, there's more significant improvement.
Taylor, just the Lakers not only just 7 3-pointers made, but also they had 26 attempted. What was the difference in the defensive execution tonight as opposed to game one?
Yeah, just better awareness of their ball movement. We watched after game one, their spacing and how, again, I just talked about, the discipline and our rotations, just our when we just take a misstep, they find, their shooters. I thought in game one, James did a great job of it. Davis did a great job of it. Russell coming off his pick and rolls and finding guys, just our urgency to get to the 3-point line and just be in the right spot initially. So they didn't have these windows of opportunity. We just try to, limit those as much as possible. So we'll see what the adjustments are, going into game three. We'll watch the film and see, where we did well and where we didn't do well. But it was just a matter of just being really disciplined on the backside, knowing that they try to thrive in setting flares and cuts and letting those guys be, facilitators early before they go score.
Taylor, was John Conchar rim protecting against Anthony Davis part of the game plan tonight?
Jitty doing Jitty things. I mean, that was huge. Obviously, I think AD's getting deep post catches, and we talked about how our weak side rotations had to be there because that was an emphasis going the series when he's trying to get deep, and he's hurt us in the past. And then just Jitty, comes out of the right spot to make a huge play, makes it twice. I mean, that's just really impressive. It's just guys making winning plays. They get your opportunity. He didn't play in game one, but he stayed ready to go out there and again just do Jitty things, and he makes defensive plays, winning plays. Made a huge impact in the minutes that he had tonight.
To do this without Ja, I know you obviously did it in the Golden State series last year, won a homie, but I don't know. I'm curious what the word would be. Was it reassuring to see these guys rise up the way they did?
I mean, I don't know what the word is, but it's just a great description of the depth of our team, the resilience of our team. We've battled this, throughout the regular season the last 2 years, now 2 playoffs in a row. But the guys know what our DNA is. We compete together, and we just got to focus on getting better. And we had to get better from game one, set a different tone, have a different mentality. Whoever's in the lineup, what our expectations are. Great example of that, on the biggest stage in the biggest game, as I said. But now things are going to pivot. We got to go on the road, and we got to do everything that we just talked about from game 1 to game 2 10 times better, knowing that we're going on the road.
Taylor, 2 of 5 at the free throw line, and then ended up managing to match them at the line for the game. How key was it getting to the line there in the second half?
Yeah, big. I mean, I thought we were doing a pretty decent job in the first half of, getting downhill. We just missed opportunities with our driving kick. Obviously, AD's presence, I think he had 5 blocks in the first half, the way they were collapsing. But we kept telling our guys, we still have to attack. We still have to have multiple paint touches, whether that's Dez, attacking downhill, it's JJ on, his perimeter drives, whoever it was. We just had to continue making that an emphasis because that's where we thrive. Collapse the defense, then make the right reads. Was able to knock down some big threes. Obviously, Luke and D-Rod off the bench, both I think with 3 threes apiece, but just playing with force, even against their physical defense and having AD down there, we still have to make that the initial part of our offense.
Yeah, Tillman shot well from 3 as a rookie, and then obviously hit that huge one at Golden State in the play-in game. It sort of disappeared from his game the last 2 seasons. Hit one tonight? Is that something you talked about looking for with AD sort of sagging into the paint, or that just sort of happened?
I think that just kind of evolved. I mean, he's been huge. Obviously he was amazing on the boards tonight. He's playing around in the dunker spot. He's playing in a lot of pick and rolls and the elbows for us. I think he caught another one out in the corner. I don't think he shot that one, but it's just kind of the product of him and reading the personnel out there with him. Is it JJ? Is it Santi? Is it JJ on a roll? Santi on a roll? We talk about respacing and not trying to clutter the paint. That one was a great example. I think the ball was coming from right to left, and we had an overload, and he knew if he cut, he was probably going to crowd the paint a little bit more, and obviously was ready to shoot. And he practices that all the time. He's practicing his 3-point shot. I know it hasn't been a big focal point of his game because he's excelling in other areas, but he's always got to stay ready no matter what the space presents. And I was glad he shot with a lot of confidence.
Taylor, on a night like tonight when Jaren receives the Defense Player of the Year award and, he's got 3 blocks, he's on the floor, he's leaving it all out there. How much of that is you and him having conversations about how much time he's going to play? Because he played the most minutes on the court tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you see the impact he has, plus minus, the scoring, block shots, rebounds. We start changing up our pick and roll coverages.